Garrett, thanks so much for joining me today. How you doing?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm doing all right. Yeah.
Awesome.
And just to let the people know, we were supposed to record yesterday. Yeah.
Yes, but hey, better late than never. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah. And by the time this goes live, people are not going to remember. They're
Well,
not going
today
to
is just
know.
an extension of yesterday anyway.
That's all it is.
Yeah, we're always in the now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Garrett, stand-up comedy. You was this something you always wanted to do? Be a stand-up? Get on stage and tell jokes?
Yeah, I guess so. Like ever since I was probably in grade 5.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I
Yeah.
wanted to make people laugh. Like there used to be a show out of the United States of America called Caroline's Comedy Hour. I
Oh yeah.
yeah, or Evening at the Improv. I don't know who any of those comics were, but they were just making people laugh, and that's what I wanted to do. And so I started,
Wow.
yeah, looking at everything that was funny and being funny and taking it to school basically. And yeah, in grade 6, when they tell you to come dressed as what you want to be when you grow up, I came dressed as a comedian. So I put on jeans for the first time and
I was
and a
I was gonna
button-up
ask you.
shirt.
Okay, so that's what they were wearing back when you were watching.
Yeah, like it was very the cliche comedian, I guess.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody dress like Seinfeld. Remember when in the Seinfeld show there'd be cut out, they'd cut into him at a club doing, shirt and tie with
Oh
a
yeah.
with a jacket. I haven't seen anyone
Well,
dressed like that.
there are some, but it's very much the minority.
Yeah, like in a club. On stage is different, but like in a club, I haven't seen anyone.
Yeah, maybe we'll bring that back.
There you go. Well, I can't wait for you to host another Dave Merhesh show and you bust out the shirt and tie.
It's gonna be yeah, a sixth suit. Well, we will make a semblance of a suit, I'm assuming.
Nice. Um, Listen, question you talking about Caroline's. Have you performed there? Have you had the chance to perform there?
Caroline's, yeah, we got to perform at Caroline's at
Cool.
Times Square area, I think before it
Yeah.
moved or shut down.
You know what? I didn't even know. I know they were in the Times Square area. They're shut down. I did not know that.
Well, I think they were, or maybe they aren't now or yet, but yeah, we were one of the last people to come down and perform in there, apparently. But
Awesome.
I could be just making up facts right now. So like,
How
yeah,
much how much changing Caroline's Wikipedia page?
I'm just going off telling people that this place doesn't exist anymore, and
You
they're
shut it
like,
down.
yeah, what are you talking about? It's right here.
No one show up anymore because Garrett's been telling people it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Um,
I
do you
wish I had that
remember?
much clout though, but no, I don't have that. I
Yeah.
could be telling people to shut down. They're like, yeah, okay, buddy, whoever you are.
Yeah, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Garrett, do you remember the first joke you ever told on stage at a comedy club?
The first joke, not 100% the first joke, but I was looking at my joke books and my earliest joke sort of written in here that I would have used quite a bit was
Yeah.
a very absurd joke.
All right.
Yeah, do you want to hear it, I guess?
Yeah. 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 Let's hear
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it goes like this. I caught my first fish recently, and then the crowd would hopefully
Woo.
applaud. Yeah, yeah. So let's start again. So I caught my first fish recently.
All right.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Too bad I caught it having sex with my girlfriend. Am I right? It was. So you see what I did there is the
Yes.
misdirect. Yeah, the misdirect and use the term caught in two different ways.
Kendrick Lamar would be proud of your double entendre. It's
Well,
just,
that's the other thing is like a lot of hip hop that I would listen to, a lot of them are they just write one-liners.
that's essentially, yeah.
Yeah. If you want some of the best one-liners, there's some great hip hop from
Absolutely.
the 90s that in my mind was just the best.
Now, when you told that joke, Garrett, laughs, groans, a mix. What and how did you feel?
Definitely laughs. Well, definitely, yeah, that's why I would keep telling it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. If people were booing, I don't know why they would. I'm like, I don't know why you have so much vested in this joke right now. Why are you booing this? But there for sure wasn't silence. Like it
Yeah.
gets a reaction because I think it's just so dumb that people will, yeah, giggle at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, to say the least. But
Overall, your first performance, I don't know, maybe it was at an open mic, or maybe not, but do, do you remember your first performance and the reaction you got and the feeling you got, when you walked off stage?
first performances would have been like in school.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So like I guess yeah, th those performances were kind of nerve-wracking, but you'd cobble together what you thought was stand up and then
Yeah.
perform it at the talent show, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had it left you with a feeling of like I got kicked out of the talent show for being inappropriate. So
The
it's
fish
pretty
joke, is that?
the fish joke is one, yeah, and then there was a at the time there was a flood in a and I can't remember the country at all. But it was a flood, and a woman had to climb up into a tree, and she gave birth to a child up in the tree when the floodwaters were there. And then I made the simple joke of, I've heard of babies falling from bushes, but not trees, you know. And then, but so in school, that kills in
Oh yeah.
because you're saying the things that you're not allowed to say. He's referencing a vagina, you know what I mean? And so I remember looking at the panel of teachers, and
Oh my goodness.
one guy was laughing, and then one woman was
Inappropriate.
like, yeah, not shaking her head, and then another teacher, he was for sure shaking his head in disapproval and writing. I'm sure writing canceled. So I've been canceled before. It'll
But,
happen again.
but, before the term even existed.
Exactly. I'm a
You
pioneer. I'm
you're
a
a pioneer.
pioneer without
The
even saying
original
anything.
canceled.
Exactly. I just get so I've been canceled before and it'll happen again, I'm sure, some capacity. But
Nice.
if it was something that you wrote and it was the intent was to get laughs, then that's
Yeah.
fine.
I've seen you host before. I can't remember. I'm sure it was a Dave Merhesh show. It could have been a Ali Hassan show. I don't recall. But uh, is there a difference as a comedian how you approach hosting a show versus you've got a 10-15 minute slot or whatever?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
When I host, I'm more like what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm more of a human, I would say. And then when
Yeah.
I'm just doing a show, I
Yeah.
have kind of a caricature of myself, I would say, where it's less audience interaction and more performing,
Fair.
right? Whereas a host is you're the middle ground between the comic and the audience. So it would be you kind of be considered a lunatic if you just came out on stage and just started telling jokes. So as a
Yeah.
host, you have to be, how are you guys doing? That classic is, how we feeling? Oh yeah, and anyone and kind of like setting the mood, setting the tone that we're here just to hang out and listen to some people be funny.
Is it hard being a host?
No, I actually, well, some people might find it hard, and I think what's
Yeah.
hard about it for a lot of comics is the fact that they only have their material. Right? So it's like, yeah, when you host, you kind of have to be funny in the moment, not too ridiculous. Like to be an absurd comic as a host is really, really difficult. And you kind of have to do the work part of comedy, which is like, how are you guys doing? Is
Yeah.
that all you got? Let's bring this show, let's get the energy up. And then you also have to pay attention to the comic who was on before, because let's say they kill. You kind of have to
Yeah.
bring it down so the next comic doesn't start off with unless you know they can do it. That's the other thing is if you know that comic
Okay.
can like be able to just ride that wave of laughter, then you keep it up. Or if someone bombs, you have to, I guess, bring up the energy as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Has your style changed? I'm going to assume it has. But I'll just ask it, has it changed and how has it changed?
Okay, so like when looking back at old stand-up clips, like how long have you been doing it for?
I'm literally in a class, and I want to talk to you about
Okay. Yeah,
how
so
how
like
how you've learned. Yeah.
so everything that you find funny, like your sense of humor will not change. So like when
Okay.
people look at the back and they're like, "Oh my God, like it was so bad." It's like, yeah, it was bad because you didn't have the confidence, but what you found funny at that time, you're gonna find the same sense of humor funny when you get older.
Mm,
And
yeah.
but the difference between, let's say, after doing it for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, when you get to a point of confidence, uh, your sense of humor will be the same, but now you've experimented so much that you will know what not to do. Was when you first started out, you don't know what to do.
Fair enough. So let me get to that point earlier. I said I'm literally in a class. Um, there's classes now people can take. Web.
Congratulations as well.
Thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. Um, how did you? I'm assuming there were no classes, but I'm not saying you're old,
Yeah, yeah,
but
I'm very old.
but you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Um, were there classes back then, or did you literally have to do like open mic? Like if you weren't, the class clown, so to speak, did you have to
Yeah.
like figure out where the open mics were and how to navigate that? Like what was it? What was the learning for you and people, in your
In
era,
my,
I
yeah,
guess?
yeah. Well, electricity, after electricity was invented,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Wait, so wait, hold on. Wait a second.
So then, yeah, the electricity was invented, sound equipment was made, and then I was like, "Oh my God, we could use
And you
this
were
for
ready.
jokes." Yeah, I was ready. But yeah, I guess it started out for me. Like I come from a town that didn't really have. They had a stand-up comedy club, but I had no idea
Yeah,
how to go about doing this because no one in
yeah.
my family is an entertainer at all. So then I was really curious, but had and none of my friends, like you don't know where to go or what to do. So I thought you had to go through movies, like become to act, and then you
Okay.
become a comedian. So I went to film school.
Oh,
Yeah, and then if I was at karaoke, I'd be funny on the microphone there. So I guess really my first sort of stand-up sets were karaoke, uh, mic technique, I guess.
yeah.
But yeah, for me, then I went to university and I typed in creative writing. And the Humber School of Comedy here in Toronto came
Oh,
up. And so, yeah, there was a whole school dedicated to being funny. So
wow.
yeah, I applied to that, auditioned, and I think, yeah, I got in. I know I got it.
Yeah, I
I didn't,
know.
I think I did. I don't know. I can't remember.
Humber School. Does that even exist? Do you know?
Yeah, it still exists. It's
Oh,
a
geez.
yeah, it's like where do you take your joke writing class?
Comedy bar.
Comedy bar. Yeah, okay. Who's your
Yeah.
teacher?
Rebecca. Rebecca
R
Reeds?
Reed's. Yeah, yeah. So Reed's she's very, very funny, very polished as a comedian,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And but I'm not sure if she went to Humber, but yeah, Humber's here in Toronto and they're affiliated with Comedy Bar and Yuck Yucks and
Oh, okay.
yeah. But
All
it's
right.
yeah, you're really immersed in that world. And I think a lot of comics that you'll meet who are especially my age, like there's a lot of quite a few comics who are from the Humber School of Comedy kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Final question for you.
Okay.
Um, what's your okay, I'll just ask it out like this. Do you feel you've made it in comedy, or is there something that needs to happen for you to say, I've made it? What does that mean for you?
What does making it mean? Because
Yeah.
going into this, I was, told like my parents were like, you're not gonna, the artists, they don't make that much money, blah blah blah, all this stuff, like going to school. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that. Like money doesn't mean like my relationship with money. I'm not greedy at all. Like if someone wants to fight over money, I just kind of let them, right? But
Okay.
yeah, so success really isn't money for me. Um, what success in comedy? I've always maintained the wish or the idea that as long as I can pay my rent and I can eat from doing, and it's not necessarily stand up. for me. It was always
Mm,
been just being funny. So like
okay.
I've gotten jobs in commercials, acting. I'm producing things, doing stand up, like anything that, yeah, anything and everything that has to do with comedies, not necessarily telling jokes on stage.
Fair enough. That is awesome. Garrett,
So
yeah.
I'm successful, but not in the way that uh, I'd be like, oh, I'm famous, successful.
Yeah, everyone has a different answer. Everyone has a different sort of thing that they're chasing or not chasing, and I think it's, I think even Rebecca, I haven't interviewed Rebecca necessarily, but she says she makes her money in comedy, whether that's, on stage or whether that's teaching or her podcast or whatever it is. She makes a living from this thing.
Yeah, like this
Um,
world is really you have to be a jack of all trades.
yeah,
But as long as yeah, you're contributing to the making people laugh, I think you're succeeding.
yeah,
Yeah, and honestly, everyone should do comedy. Everyone should like I don't know if you've heard the saying everyone is a comedian, but I believe that everyone should be a comedian. Because I don't know how you have found it, but even just attempting to write jokes, are you very much more aware of what's around you, what's funny? You look at things differently. You're now around
yes.
people who you get to hear their point of view from all walks of life, but they're one thing they have in common is they're trying to make people laugh.
Yeah, it's really, you are right. There's things, um, like today I wrote a joke about Indians don't, black people have the N word, and they can call themselves that, and it's like, almost like a term of endearment when they call each other that.
Yeah.
Brown people don't have that word. We don't have a word, but there is a word, like the word packy, and I was and people have called me that, and there's been struggles with that. But when I remembered that today, I said there's something funny in that word when used is only used as a slur,
Hmm.
but it can't be used the other way because
Yes, so
people,
you can claim that word.
yeah, yeah, but like people from India
Yeah.
apparently don't like people from Pakistan. So would they find the term endearing to them,
Would they
right?
find that? Oh yeah, no, they. Well, everything depends on who brings up the point, I guess.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, because
anyways,
like it.
yeah, I was trying to find the funny in that,
Yeah.
that. So, but you're right. Like everything that happens now, or things that have happened in the past, I look back and I go, where's, because I think there's humor in everything.
Oh, 100% there's humor in everything.
You can find it everywhere.
Well,
So,
that's what I love was when people like right now I'm working on something where I pull the crowd and I go, how many people love comedy? And then they all like applaud. And I'm like, do you
yeah.
love comedy or do you just love laughing? And
Oh,
then they go, oh, they're just laughing. It's just laughing, right? Because like comedy, there's
sure.
if you compare comedy to music, comedy like music has what? Hip hop, rock, punk,
Yeah.
country music, right? Reggae. Like it has all these different styles of music, but you'd be insane to put them all together on one show. Whereas even in comedy, there's so many different types of comedy, and then people just are crammed together in one show where you get more of a variety, I guess, more of a variety of humor, but
Yeah.
it's not the same comedy.
True. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. Garrett, man, I feel like I can talk to you for hours.
I have plenty of time.
I know my wife is waiting to come back in this room.
Oh, this is your wife's room? She's like, get out
No,
of there. What are you
it's
doing?
it's I know.
Honey, I'm doing my podcast. This comedy thing's really important to me. I gotta be in here. I gotta ask about this nobody what his first joke was. What are you doing?
He says that Carolyn is dead.
Yeah, Carol, he says Carolyn's comedy club is gone. He just dropped a bomb and I don't even know if it's true.
We're going to New York. Oh my God. Uh, Garrett, this has been fun. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to this episode of My First Joke. I hope you had as much fun listening as I had chatting with Garrett today. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe to My First Joke everywhere you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Share it with your friends. Take a moment to rate and review. Those 5 stars really help me feel good about myself. And check out the website, myfirstjoke.ca. My name is Kareem. Until next time, remember.
Oh, the podcast you're supposed to be on today was actually yesterday.
Thanks, Garrett.
Thank you so much.